intend to operate the goods traffic through Dearsley in a prototypical way. Like a lot of people, I'm not happy with the clunky tension lock couplings, so I have been looking at alternatives. My initial idea was to cut off the tension locks and fit a hook and chain at one end and a magnet on the other end of each truck. Providing the trucks all remain the same way round, this would work fine. An approaching truck would simply pull up, the magnet would attract the chain, and the two trucks would be linked together. The only problem with this, of course, is that to separate them, the hand of God would have to come in and they could be pushed apart. I suppose this is not a big thing, but I really wanted my goods to operate more automatically than that. So I needed to look for a different type of coupling. I've decided to go for the Sprat Winkle couplings. I've seen them at shows and they look fine, and they're certainly more discreet than the old tension lock couplings. Included in the starter pack are some instructions, a photo-etched brass plate of 32 couplings, 4 bar magnets for decoupling, a coil of brass wire, a coil of nickel silver wire, and a coil of soft iron wire. The wagons I've chosen are 3 WJ Rumbelow of Cambridge coal trucks made by Mainline. The first thing to do is to remove the old tension lock couplings. The hook on these simply pushes out, and then quite easy to remove. They just snap down from the things. The bar is plastic, so I'm going to use a pair of plastic cutters just to remove that. I'll neaten it up in a moment, but they'll just snip off. And on this side I'll put this one down level with the bottom of the wagon there, and just trim that one up there and there, being careful not to snip the brake hangers off at the same time. We now need to fold up some of the wire in the shape of staples to fit on the mounting plates. The nickel silver wire is cut into short lengths and bent into staples. These pass through the appropriate holes in the mounting sheet before being soldered. As you can see, the hook is quite flat when it's removed from the fret. You first of all need to turn the hook part through 90 degrees relative to the paddle. Once you've done that, you need to offset the hook slightly to the right, as you can see on the upper hook there. Once that's done, the hook part needs to be bent down slightly, just a few degrees from the paddle. I'll try and show you that. I hope you can see, if that's in focus, that it's bent down slightly. Okay, probably not the prettiest bit of soldering, but I've degreased them and cleaned them up. They're now ready for blacking, and then the assembly can begin. The mounting plates made to take the hook are the ones with the smaller nickel silver staple soldered to them, the legs of which you can see facing upright in this shot. The mounting plate is in fact upside down, so to put the hook on it, you just lower it onto the legs of the staple, where it can move quite freely. This will not be glued or soldered in place. It pivots on the legs of that staple. To prevent it falling off when you turn the mounting plate the right way up, these legs have to be bent over. I use a pair of snipe nose pliers to do this, and it's a bit fiddly, so I shall do it off camera. Here is a really close-up view of the finished mounting plate and hook. The little staple I was bending over now looks like this. I'll just show you a pinhead so you can see the scale. It's really quite small. And when this is turned over, it stops the hook from falling off, but the movement of the hook is quite free on the legs of this staple. I've attached a completed hook and a little piece of soft iron wire to it to activate it, and I'll pass a magnet underneath it. Magnets will be hidden in the track to activate it at suitable points, and I'll just run the magnets over it and you'll get a good idea of how it's going to work. Would you believe it? When I came to fit the mounting plates underneath the wagon, I had to make an alteration to them because of the closeness of the wheels to the buffer beam. The wagon on the right is the WJ Rumbler of Cambridge wagon, and as you see I've had to trim the plate to fit it and clear the wheels. The one on the left is also a mainline coal wagon, but the wheels are set further back, so here there's no problem. Now for the fiddly bit. This involves forming individual links for the dropper. The links are made from the soft iron wire. You need a former. I used plastic hard here, 1mm thick, and cut a section 3mm across and wrapped the wire round it. The pinhead gives a sense of scale again, and I've included my brass tweezers here. My steel ones are slightly magnetised and they make it virtually impossible to assemble the links. Using a steel-backed razor blade, I'm going to chop through the metal links to separate them. As I'm fitting just one hook to most of my wagons, there's enough links here to make 3 droppers. Here are 3 completed chains made up and ready to hang on the coupling hook. Now you can see the Sprat Winkle couplings fitted. I've touched in around the staples and here and there where some of the brass was showing with the Vallejo dark grey paint. I'll now attempt to show you how they work. I've already fitted a magnet under the track, and I will show you how I did this in another video. First I'm going to run the trucks over the magnet, and they should stay connected. This time I'm going to uncouple the first truck. These couplings have a delayed feature. This is now uncoupled. If I wanted to push it further back along the siding, I can simply do so and it will remain uncoupled. Now when I return the wagons, leaving the third one further back on the siding.